Good morning, everybody. It is an awesome July, Minnesota day, and today I am going to tackle this garden. I want to get it all established and mulched all the way to the front of the barn. I'm going to show you where we're at right now and what we still need to do today to get it to be 100% done. So this section here, I did take mulch we had from another part of the property and just moved it here. So at least that has been mulched. And I've got plants where I want them here. This cord, this ugly eyesore needs to be, I think I might cover it somehow. And then I have further marigolds here I've planted for interest. Some of them are really teeny tiny from seed, but they'll get big. And you can just see right now, it's very raw. All I have done in this section is I've taken the tiller and etched out the areas that I want to be garden bed. But it needs to be polished, it needs to be finished off, and it needs to be turned into a proper garden. Here's a wide view just so you can see the total expanse we're talking about here. My vision is to have really amazing landscape garden beds the whole way. And I've started to establish these over the last year with some perennials, and I just want to keep it going. So it is just this beautiful story of flowers and interest and different heights and different things going on. This is kind of an eyesore area, so I definitely want to add that hydrangea, and I'm looking for areas within this overall landscape where it makes sense to add height. You know, like eventually in this spot, I think I might put some height, which will also help cover up that outlet. This is a natural spot that makes sense for height. And here I think height, a little bit of height or medium height would look really good. I'm not all about symmetry. I'm more about asymmetry and making things look natural, but also very interesting. Another design consideration as I'm figuring out what I want to put in here, it's always funny. I feel like I'm always learning and it's fascinating. I'm learning that from a bloom standpoint, I do not want blooms that are too light or blue because they won't pop against this light blue barn. And so I want things that are dark like this, and you can see this better in the afternoon. I'll have to take a shot in the afternoon when they're not glowing in the sun. But truly, plants like this one, this light phlox, because it is almost a pale white, it's a white pink, it actually gets lost. You don't see it well against that barn. So I'm actually going to pull that out and move it to an area where it will pop, because I want to use the blooms wherever they're going to pop in our landscape and not have them be wasted. I'll definitely keep these. So this is a tangled mess from what I transplanted from Grandma's garden. They're intertwined, so I'm going to have to delicately pull these apart today. And I want to do that before I put the mulch down, because otherwise it'll be a mess on the mulch. Some of the tools I'm going to use today, I certainly have my shovel to be able to transplant some things into the bed. I also have my stirrup hoe in case I just need to clean up some of the weeds. They're going to get covered up with newspaper and mulch anyways. And then I have my weasel, which is an awesome edging tool to get a crisp line. Looking for a good deal on mulch. It's very hard to find good prices sometimes, especially these days. And I was really surprised this year to find a good deal at Walmart, of all places. I thought Menards would have a good price. Walmart's actually cheaper. This is was $2.47 for a 2 cubic foot bag each. And I love to do black, and black is not that common. A lot of people don't think of it when they do mulch. They think of the traditional browns and more red cedar tones. So this is always in stock. So tip and hint, if you're looking for something different, it looks like soil. It makes the plants pop out against the black. It looks terrific. So the first thing I'm doing is taking my weasel, which has an awesome blade on it that can just go right into the ground. And then it has a footstep on it that you can push it down with. I'm using this to get really crisp lines. So you can see here, I've gone in and I just push down wherever I want the line, and I can kind of go back and forth, so that breaks up the roots between the plants. And so right here, you know, making sure there's a really good clean line. And then everything here I'm going to be ripping out. So then I've got line going along here. It's kind of hard to see because of the weeds. And then I've done chunks so I can roll this piece up and out. Right, I am about 3/4 of the way through the edging exercise. And it's looking pretty good. The only area I'm not happy with is this area here. It just, the line that I made, because I don't always follow like a spray paint line or, you know, putting a straight edge. And this is just not, it's got too many kinks and curves in it. So I'm going to have to redo that line a little bit. I don't know if you can see that here better, but I'm just going to have to straighten it out a little bit more. It's just a little jagged here. But other than that, things are looking really good. When I was asking myself, you know, what about using our cultivator now that we have a gas tiller cultivator? The thing is, even in the small tine width, this is too fine of work for that. It's still too messy. This is handwork, and getting that kind of edge that's nice and clean requires a little bit of handwork, and it's well worth it. And all I'm doing is making sure that where I had cut with the weasel along my line, that I broke it up in enough spots with the shovel to make it really easy for me to pull it here. Because what I don't need is to ruin my back trying to pull this stuff out. Because, you know, the weed pressure on this, the roots and how dug in they are is really significant. So what I want to do is make sure as I'm pulling it, it's as loose as it can be. And then look at that. Now I've got a clean line. Alright, all of the edging is done. And one tip that has really helped is if you do this after it rains, and I'm lucky that we don't have a lot of rock in our soil, it really helps. So when I was taking the weasel again and chopping out more here, I was able to chop in and then kind of twist it around and lift it up and go back and forth, and the weeds just came right out of the ground. I didn't even have to pull them hard. All right, my next step, I separated out the light colored phlox from these echinacea coneflowers. And there was such a big grouping of them that I thought, heck, why not split them while I had them dug up? So I pulled it into 3 parts. So this is one part, just replanted it and gave it some water. And then over here, so just a little bit of ways from the wagon wheel focal point, over here, just to give this area a little bit of visual interest, I put the other 2. I just kind of staggered them with the taller one in the back. So they're looking a little upset because they've been moved, but I just gave them water. I think they're going to be just fine. Now my next step, because I want to get all my plants placed before I start to do the mulch process, I'm going to dig a hole here right between where the sprinkler head is and these pieces to put that hydrangea in. And you know, it's funny, now that I was looking at this, when you have a larger element that has height in a garden design, a lot of times you want to give it a sense of place and make sure that it's more in the center or the back of the design. And as I was looking at the scallop of the edge that I've got going on, it's a little skinny there. I mean, imagine we're going to have this hydrangea there with a lot of leaves, and it's just going to get bigger and bigger and come out and out more. It's going to quickly grow outside that border, and I want to give it more emphasis and more space, if that makes sense. So, you know, as these things go, one thing leads to another. So I actually just took the weasel and I edged out a wider border for this. So I'm going to see if I can pull a piece out to show you what I mean. So this I just cut. I'm going to pull it up here. So this is the new line that I just made. I'll zoom back out. So I pulled the line out to be, I just scalloped it so it's going to be right here instead. Right, that's all done. And doesn't that look pretty? I love the scallop. I think it looks great. The hydrangea that I'm planting today is gorgeous. It's a vanilla strawberry, and it's hardy for zone 3, and we're in zone 4B. So this will do very well. It should be a complete workhorse. And it gets from 6 to 7 feet tall, and about 5 to 6 feet wide. And it looks like this. It actually changes colors throughout the season with whites and pinks and kind of a mauve in the fall. So it is such an awesome plant. I love hydrangeas because you get both like flowers and kind of a tree situation, like an ornamental, really pretty tree. And they're hardy and they come back every year and they're low maintenance. Like there's so many benefits. So really excited to put this in. Oh, you guys, I'm so in love. Look how great it looks. Oh my gosh. It's already dressing up this ugly little corner of the barn, making it look nice, softening it. Looks so good. I love it. Oh, look, there's a hummingbird. Hello, friend. She don't know what to think of me. Ooh. She is not scared of me, though. Look at that. She's just like, why are you hanging around my bee balm? This is mine. I'm probably here 3 times a day. Who are you? Hi, sweetheart. Wow, isn't that incredible? They are so special. And they're here all the time. I was lucky enough to get a video of one yesterday, and I cannot believe this is happening right now. Alright, we got the mulch going. Just loaded up 3 bags into the tractor. I did not believe this last year when I read about it, but so many gardeners swear by using newspaper underneath mulch. And you might just think, well, what the heck? I mean, it seems wimpy, right? Like you do 2 sheets of it and then you put the mulch over, and it helps be a compostable barrier for weeds better than just mulch by itself. And I thought, okay, well, so many people I read swear by this that I thought, okay, I'm going to try it. And I have to say, a year later, I did it on all of our garden beds that existed yet last spring. It really, really does make a difference. All right, we're jamming along with mulch. It's going pretty well. We'll put down a piece, hose it down so it sticks, and put mulch on it. That's all there is to it. 2 sheets, hose it down, and grab a little bit of mulch just to stabilize it. It is windy, but so far it's going really good because I know what I'm doing because I've done this enough. So now that's stabilized. And then what I do is, once I've got an area that is done enough with the newspaper and just initial mulch, then I will tip the loader bucket in to just dump the entire amount like I did here. And then I smooth it out and it looks fantastic. Got it all done. But overall, it's looking real good.